Welcome everybody to the show. Man, I'm just watching my frame rate sink into the abyss. The abyss. I had to change my bite rate for that intro and everything. Everything. The real Vladimir Putin is in the chat. Linda H. Nura. Who else is here today? Hi, Angie. Everybody. Hello, hello. How you guys doing today? Man, that intro really smokes when it plays right. If I can get the beginning intro stream and not click the wrong button, that'd help a lot too. But hey, I'm human. How's everybody's night tonight? It's 8:21 Pacific here. I know it's a lot later in some spots, but we got some stuff to cover in the news, guys. Some stuff. Canty is fine. Canty does not feel good. Canty is having a lot of heat in his area, and he doesn't do good in the heat. So he'll be on probably to tell you here in a day or two after it cools down. Hi, Martin. Yep, he's fine. I talked to him. I asked him, where you at? And he's probably taking a little breaksies. Very cutesies, very mindful, very demure. Everybody needs a little breaksies, so. Current bite rate is lower than recommended. Man, I really got to mess with this bite rate thing. I'm going to smoke this computer out when I get a chance to just get into the fine tuning. Audio. How's audio? Bad? Audio bad or audio good? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, Vlad, the vets did march. I had to cut that into my intro. I love that part. I am dropping frames like an abomination. See if I can. Ooh. Sound check. Can you guys hear me? Hi, Steve. Can you guys hear me good? Sound good? Everything good? Everything's squared away now? We're getting the jitters out. That new intro. I might have to tweak with the OBS a little bit. I'll replay it and see how it looked. It said it was freezing up, so we'll get it tuned in, all right? One hell of an intro. You guys like that new intro? Jamming out a little bit with that song I made. Little video clip and everything. All right, there we go. Get it all set up here. So hey, in the chat, pinned at the top, I got Paige's donation link. We're going to be supporting Paige in Kansas for a while. It's real easy to donate to her. She's going back to Ukraine in a little bit. She will also be guest starring this Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on my show. We'll have a little conversation with her and see what it's all about. See what she's about. She's been helping out a ton, and her heart's in it. She's very passionate about what she does. There's no wavering with her. She is the real deal, and she will do anything to help her men. And yeah, she's helped me in the past, so we're gonna have her on. It's gonna be a really cool stream. We're really happy about that. Also, Angie's in chat, guys. If you haven't already, go to YouTube. Type in Angie Pod. Right on top here. Throw a subscription Angie's way, please. Please, if you could. We have fundraised in the past for her family. Let's see if I can share this link in. Yeah. Try refreshing the stream, Steve. If you guys could throw some subs Angie's way. Link is in the chat. Just give it a refresh real quick. It should come back. All right, moving on. Let's get into the world of the news. There's a lot going on, folks. a lot. I didn't think there was so much going on, but it popped up on my feed. I wasn't even planning to do a stream today. I'm like, holy cow, I got enough content to do one for today. So we're going to get into it.
Texas.
There's some good stuff. Some crazy stuff, let's say. I don't know if it's necessarily good. It's wild. We're living in some wild times, man. We are living in wild times. Let's go into collections. Wild ass times. There's a little funny here. We can do a little funny first.
Yeah, apparently they're deporting all aliens now. It's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, do you consider us aliens?
Well, I have always thought of us more as like alien Americans.
Whoa! Disgusting. You can get out.
Whoa, hey.
If you're an alien in America, it's time for you to leave. You're not here legally that I'm aware of.
You sound like you've been radicalized, brother.
No.
Yeah.
I'm defending what is right and true.
Yo.
And that is the American documents that say American citizens can stay and illegal aliens can get out. So leave.
You know, I'm feeling a lot of dark matter from you right now.
Sure.
And I feel like you've done a whole 180. Ever since we got to planet Earth, I feel like you've just gone deeper and deeper down the dark matter rabbit hole.
No.
All right? And you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror and remember what your source consciousness is all about.
I'm
right?
just saying and doing what's the right thing to do as an American.
Hey, you sound like you're in a cult.
I'm
I gotta
not.
be honest. Yeah,
I'm
you do.
not, okay?
I'm feeling pretty offended right now.
Well, you should be because you disgust me. Yeah. Did you see how stupid that was?
What?
Yeah. Yeah,
Were you trolling?
I was trolling.
You were trolling? That was good.
Yeah,
that was good trolling.
I guess we're staying.
We're staying.
Where are they going to deport us to?
Where are they going to send us to?
They don't know how to get to where we're from.
Apparently they're...
I love that. I absolutely love that. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sort of a space nerd. Look, he's got the Space Jam shirt on. I'm a Trekkie. I am a Trekkie. I love Star Wars and I love Star Trek. Big time, like a big time nerd when it comes. I am currently binge watching. Oh, actually, I skipped my episode today to gather to do a stream. I was gonna watch my nightly episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation because I am a freaking nerd. Okay, I like UFOs. I like space. I like alien stuff because it's fun. Okay, until it's not fun. I like it until it's not fun. But yeah, this popped up on my feed a little bit ago. Check this out.
Oh, here's another one right here. You see him? Flying right over our heads. Pointing it right at him. And now he's turning.
Ooh,
Yeah.
flashed.
Yeah, you see him?
Yeah, it just flashed.
I'm lasering at him, and he's curving. Oh,
Man, there's something else out there. I'm just gonna say it, guys. Not to sound too creepy and conspiracy-wise, but I've seen some shit in the sky, too, I can't explain. It's gonna get really hard to make determinations with FPV drones the way they are now, but cool little feed. Cool little air show in the sky. Yeah, don't fire lasers at the UFOs, guys. Please don't. For the love of God. For the love of God. Let's get into a wild clip, too. I was watching this. I think I did. Did I put it in wild or outdoors? Oh, yeah, wild. Check this out.
Still follow me. But you gotta remain calm and don't run. Have the pepper spray at the ready.
Oh, my God. Only thing, dude, that terrifies me. Nothing scares me like running into a bear in the woods. We don't have grizzlies where I'm at. We got black bears.
Still follow me.
Oh my
You gotta
God.
remain calm and don't run. Have the pepper spray at the ready. You stop for
God, that's terrifying to me. That's terrifying. Here's some cutesies.
A dog in Turkey stuns workers at a veterinary clinic in Istanbul by carrying her puppy to their door to ask for help.
The dog named Mom by the veterinarians came to their clinic door this week clutching her lifeless puppy in her mouth. The tech initially believed that the puppy was dead. However, the vet detected a faint heartbeat, gave it a shot of adrenaline, then warmed the puppy with a hairdryer. Mom remained nearby, occasionally checking in on her baby. The vet believes Mom may have known about this clinic by following members of the community who rescued her other puppy and then brought it there. Amazing story. And if you're furrowing your brow saying impossible, I will just say on a personal note, as a child, we moved about 15 miles from one house to another. Our cat got out accidentally, and a month later showed up at our former house 15 miles away. Animals are capable of amazing things.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
But that's amazing that she knew to do that.
A
Walk
mama's
right
love,
to the
right?
door.
Yeah. Anything for your babies.
That's absolutely awesome. Great Mother's Day story right there anyways, guys. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. You know, I'm playing 2 roles. I didn't get any flowers, but it's all right. Here's a scary takeoff. Look at this. This is crazy.
Gentlemen, this is Captain Cohn. I understand some of you may have been startled by that banging noise that just occurred. What happened is some static electricity built up on the airplane and it discharged as we were climbing through the clouds. That happens occasionally when you're in cirrus clouds like this. The airplane generates some static electricity as it goes through the clouds and then it has to discharge. But the plane's operating normally, so there's no reason for alarm.
The static electricity built up on the airplane while they were hitting the clouds and started going off. And that's what that sound was. That thumping was electricity on the outside of the freaking aircraft, which is wild. Did I ever get into Battlestar Galactica? No, I have actually never watched an episode of Battlestar. It was before my time. Absolutely. Yeah, that's wild. Oh my God. Angie's like, thanks for showing this. I just booked flights to Ukraine for my in-laws. My bad. Sorry about that. Oh, shoot. Yeah, pretty wild. I love flying, though. It doesn't bother me. I've been in some scary flights, but it doesn't bother me. Hawaii was probably the easiest. That 8 hours went by so quick. We were there, and it felt like 30 minutes. It was an 8-hour flight. It felt like 30 minutes. It was so quick. Yeah, let's take a peek into the outdoors real quick. This guy gives me cool vibes. He's kind of crazy. I really like following him. It's Sailing with Phoenix.
Hello, we're doing a late night post here because I couldn't help myself. And I need to show you guys this sunset. And I don't think you're ready for it. I don't think you're ready for it, because I wasn't. I came out here and I was not ready for it. But look at this.
Damn.
Oh my God. that is not.
That is so pretty. Look at that. Oh my God. That makes me want to go on a cruise so bad.
Real. There's nothing about this that's real. Oh my God. And then let's do a slow pan. I mean, look, every corner of this sky, even back here, right there. I mean, that looks insane. I'm pretty sure that's a squall heading my direction, but that's probably not good, but we'll deal with that probably in about an hour. And then look over here. Oh my God,
Dude, that just looks so unreal. It looks so like a painting, like a beautiful, beautiful painting from a master artist. It's so amazing.
It's just so unreal. So crazy. Yeah, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Cool, dude. But he creeps me out, man. Look at this. This makes me claustrophobic watching.
And off we go. I just want to let you guys suffer through this as well. If I'm gonna do it, we're all doing it.
Oh, God. No.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I have a hard time watching this. Is anybody else claustrophobic? I've been, oh my God. I know it sounds silly. I've been in tight spots before, but when the fear hits you, it's complete panic.
All right. Okay, we're about halfway in. Okay. All right.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, it's intact. Okay, it doesn't look as broken as I thought it did. As I thought it was. And that's a good sign. Good sign, guys.
This shit makes me want to panic right now. Seriously, I feel like I'm trapped inside of a box and I want to just run out of my room.
All right. We're in. I'm looking at it. I can't remember if I did a post or something, but it's not looking as bad as I thought. So, but we're gonna try and get out of here. There's some waves. Here we go. Oh.
Nope. Nope.
I am a crazy person. I am. I know it. Oh, okay.
On the ocean, on a rolling ocean even, he's crawling into there.
Oh. Oh. We're out, ladies and gentlemen. No need to worry. I am out of the cave. And off.
That absolutely terrifies me. I remember going on a camping trip once. This is how bad it is for me. And it doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes I'm fine. But when the anxiety kicks in and the panic kicks in, the fear, it's uncontrollable. I've been in the back. I had a Chevy Tahoe with a camper, right? And it was wintertime when we were camping. And I had cardboard over the top of us in the back of it to insulate because cardboard keeps you super warm. And the cardboard had fallen down on me. And I'm in the back of the camper and I couldn't open the camper from inside of the camper area. And there was someone sitting over me. I start freaking out, panic. I need air. I need to get out of here. End up jumping over my seat, like kneeing my friend in the head, like not even thinking about his safety or his well-being at all. The door was locked. I had to fuck with the lock to get it open. I'd go running out, and I just crawled out and fell on the ground. That's how bad of a panic attack I had when I was like that. And I couldn't get out quick enough. That's only happened to me twice. One was like a pure panic attack. It wasn't even having to do with claustrophobia. Like I had to climb halfway out my window. But holy shit. Like the feeling you get when you need to get out of a small area and get some space. Get the fuck out of my way. So, shout out to him, Sailing with Phoenix. Pretty cool dude. I hope he makes it. Hope everything goes okay. I mean, he just learned how to do this. Did a couple practice runs, and he's out there doing it. Sold everything he had. So, cool dude. All right, so I'm getting into the politics, into the news. We got some stuff going on. We got some stuff.
They're talking about coming.
Hold on, we're going to go back a little farther than that, aren't we? Yeah, we'll start with this. We're going to hit it off with this.
They're talking about coming.
So federal officials arrested Ras Baraka, the mayor of Newark, after a confrontation that also involved 3 members of Congress at a new immigration detention facility that Baraka and city officials have said is operating without a valid certificate of occupancy. Let's go.
Back to arrest you.
Going where? I'm not on their property. They can't come out in the street and arrest me.
I agree with
If you come out, we're all getting arrested.
There's the mayor of New York.
He's the mayor. You can't arrest him. You're in front of everybody. You're on camera. You're on live TV.
No, record this.
Back up. Do not cause this problem. Congresswoman, and she's right in front of you. Congresswoman.
So there was congresswomen there as well. So this is turning into something big. There's going to be lawsuits flying from this. Baraka was taken to an immigration and customs enforcement facility and later released Friday evening. They arrested the mayor of Newark, New Jersey. Guys, this shit is wild. In his own city. In his own fucking city.
You know, you had a harrowing day, an absurd day today. I think a day that's really outraged a lot of people, including myself. Have you thought about taking any legal action in light of what took place today and what happened to you?
Well, I mean, we're going through this process now, and obviously I will confer with my lawyers to figure out what's the best pathway forward on this. I think they completely violated my rights. I'm the mayor of the city. I have the right to go anywhere in this city, particularly in places where I think our laws are being violated. I went on up on in a driveway with our healthcare inspectors and our fire inspectors early on, and we've been doing that for the last couple of days. They've been ignoring us. And actually, the Congress people who have oversight on this went onto the property and tried to get inside, and they made them wait over an hour, and they never got in. Never. They obviously targeted me. It was more. I wasn't the only one out there. They came directly to me, right? And tried to arrest me. No one else. Me. And so I honestly believe, I was targeted there. And, it's interesting to see all these people making these comments on social media, from the government about why I was there. I didn't come down there to protest. I came down there for a press conference with the Congress people. I knew I was going to get in the building with them. I was waiting for them to return from outside of the building to participate in the press conference with them. I was already there earlier that morning. I didn't need to. If I wanted to protest, I could have protested that morning.
You had.
This is crazy, man. Crazy. There's got to be some lawsuits. They broke his rights. They had to have. Oh, this is another one here.
ICE brought to meet the mayor of Newark over 20 armed individuals. 20 armed individuals to confront the mayor of Newark, along with 3 members of Congress. It was an act of intimidation. It was an act of intimidation not just to the mayor, not just to us, but to everyone watching. We know what ICE has been doing in our communities. We know that the president lied and this administration lies every day when they're saying they're going after criminals. It is not true. They feel no.
This is crazy, guys. This is worse than I thought. Like me trying to get in the mentality of these ICE guys, and like I had before, like thinking, how do they put on their suits? How do they morally do this? How is it ethically reasonable within inside themselves to grab women from the streets with their children there and take them away? How do they do this every day? I know there's a huge sign-on bonus, like $40,000 or something like that, but I think it's beyond that. This is very reminiscent of the Gestapo. Maybe it's a little like more of an SS style cultism than I'm realizing. They might just be fucking terribly bad individuals that live in our society and believe what they believe, because this is unacceptable. You got congresswomen there representatives there, the mayor's there, and they're talking about pressing charges on the representatives as well.
The weight of the law. They feel no restraint on what they should be doing, and that was shown in broad daylight today when they not just arrested the mayor of Newark, but when they put their hands on 2 members of Congress who are standing behind me. How is this acceptable to anyone in this country? How is this acceptable? I fight along with these 2 incredible women every day for the people of New Jersey. We fight for the country that we should be. What we saw today is the country that we live in under Donald Trump and his Department of Homeland Security, under his ICE, does not reflect who we are as a country. It reflects everything wrong with the moment that we're in.
This is wild, boy. This is wild, wild news. I've never seen anything like that happen, ever. There's more. There's corruption posts. I want to see if I got any more on this particular one so I can kind of keep it together. I threw all the political chat into one.
To arrest the mayor of the largest city of this state who did nothing wrong. He went inside of the gate and told them that he was waiting for us to come out because we were conducting an oversight visit. They asked him to leave. He left out of the gate. Instead of the ICE officials that were here, who were supposed to be here to lead us on a tour, they then came out to have a huddle to talk about how the mayor was inside and that he should be arrested still because he was inside. They then came back out after the mayor was out here with you all, some of you out here. They then left us still. We're waiting for a visit to come back out here and arrest the mayor who had already left off of their property from behind the gate. What we see here is despicable, and we should all be angry. This is unacceptable. Look, we came here simply to perform our oversight duties. That is why we came here. There is a law that says that we are able to do that as members.
So Congresswoman LaMonica McIver, I probably butchered that, describes what occurred leading up to the arrest of Newark Mayor Ras Baraka at an ICE detention center in the city. ICE officers in combat fatigues forcibly arrested Mayor Ras Baraka outside the Delaney Hall Immigrant Detention Facility in Newark. The arrest followed an argument with agents after a contentious week at the privately owned and operated Immigrant Detention Center in Newark. The arrest is related to alleged trespassing, according to tweet from U.S. Attorney Alina Habba. Trespassing? You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Of Congress, and that is what we got here to do. As soon as we got here, we were met with opposition. People were telling us that they're getting a supervisor, that they're going to get someone to come talk with us. We waited and waited. Finally, we went past the gate, and then we had to wait longer. We actually waited over 2 hours to get into this facility just to do a simple oversight visit. They say nothing is wrong with the prison, with this detention center, that we can get in here, that everything, they're following orders. But once again, they delayed us from getting in here to see this facility. We waited in the waiting area for a very long time, talked to many staff members, talked to the warden of this location, and literally still waiting for ICE officials to get here. What all of you watch occurred is just how reckless ICE is. It is unacceptable that me, as a member of Congress, as a black woman here in this city, was just assaulted by multiple ICE officers while regional directors of ICE watched it happen. Since we toured the whole facility with them, no one offered an apology or said anything to me about what occurred out here. Not only was I assaulted, but Congressman Bonnie Watson was assaulted, and of course Congressman Ron Menendez was roughed up as he was trying to protect us. It makes no sense, and it is highly unacceptable how this administration is trying to restrict Congress from doing their bare duties and the responsibilities that the people have elected us to do. What we just witnessed was just disgusting. I am very upset, I am very angry, and I am very hurt that they could be able to do something like that to us. These are people are supposed to be officers who are supposed to protect us, and they have done none of that. If they can treat 3 members of Congress like that, just imagine how they can treat people on the street each and every day, both undocumented and people who are citizens here in this country. It makes absolutely no sense.
I think that train driver probably voted for Trump because he blocked out a ton of the shit. But yeah, I'm reading the chat here. No more private military companies. No more private prisons. No more Trump regime. I totally agree with both of you. And no more ICE. This ICE shit, this is fucking wildly out of control. Wildly out of control. Like, what they're doing is it reminds me of watching the Russian police go around the city. Like, their faces are covered like a bunch of cowards because they know they're breaking the law. There's a ton of them going in there just snatching people up. It's absolutely... Dude, oh my God. It's so Russian 2.0. Wild. All right, well, here's his release. Well, they released him. They can't keep him forever, but dude, let the lawsuits fly. Please, let the lawsuits fly on this one. We got more to come with that one, for sure. Absolutely more. Yeah, absolutely more coming to that one.
Policy of January 3rd, 2025.
I'm going to let this play. I got to step away for just a second.
Mr. Green.
This is Al Green.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and still I rise. A liberated Democrat, unbought, unbossed, unafraid, and most feared by President Donald John Trump. Most feared because the president recently tweeted that he would have me removed from Congress because I have indicated that I would bring articles of impeachment. This is a president who has caused us to understand that the norms of society mean very little to him. This is a president who seems to think that he can rule by executive order. But, Mr. Speaker, I would have you and all who can hear this and see what I'm saying to know that the day of decision is near. And I believe that as a person who is armed with the axe of truth, not afraid to slam it into the tree of circumstance and let the chips fall wherever they may, I believe that as such a person, I am duty bound to bring articles of impeachment to the floor of the House of Representatives. I will do so because I believed what I said before he was elected this time. I believe what I said then, and I believe it now. This president is a threat to our democracy. He has done things that would cause us to conclude, those of us who have observed closely, that he disrespects the Constitution. He took an oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. He disrespects the Constitution. He disrespects the notion that a person should have the right to say, you have the wrong person. To say to the authorities by way of the Great Writ, you have the wrong person. To say to the authorities by way of the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution, no person deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. He has not honored that Constitution in those words. This president does not honor Marbury versus Madison. Judicial review, time honored. He dishonors it because he dishonors the decisions of the court. He believes that judges who would rule against him should be impeached. He does not respect the fact that there is a separation of powers. He believes that he is the power, but he's not. And he must be brought before this House. He must be brought before this House because if he disrespects the court, if he refuses to honor the April 10th order requiring him to facilitate the return or the release of a person who was taken from this country to another country, Supreme Court mandate, he has said that he can do it, but he hasn't. If he refuses to honor the Supreme Court and federal courts and demeans the judges, calls for their impeachment, if my colleagues across the aisle decline to bring him into some sense of order as it relates to obeying the orders of courts, if they decline to do so, then what is left? Impeachment. Whether anyone else agrees with me or not, I want my record to show that at a time when democracy was at risk, I brought impeachment to the attention of the Congress. You can do it for two reasons at least, maybe others, but two that I would call to your attention. One, to remove a president. to remove a president. I don't know that that will happen this time. I plan to bring impeachment more than once. I did it before, and it led to the impeachment of the president, and he lost an election as a result of that, I believe. But I plan to bring these articles of impeachment. Removal is a possibility. But then there is also the deterrent effect of articles of impeachment. They can be used to say to a president, if you don't behave, if you don't cease and desist with what you're doing, then you can be removed from office. I trust that this will become the message that the president will receive. However, knowing what I know about him, I doubt that he will receive the message as intended. I think that it will cause him to become a greater bully and to do more and say more things that are unacceptable, to try to normalize his dictatorial behavior. Dictatorial in that he believes that the law should be followed when he sees the law on his side, and that it should be somehow avoided when it's not. Dictatorial behavior, the kind of behavior that you see emanating from dictators. I believe that this dictatorial behavior has to be put in check, because we have a president who preaches law and order, but he doesn't mean law and order. He means order and law. He means allow me to do whatever I choose, and then you find some law to justify my behavior. That's not law and order, that's order and law, and that's what he believes. I believe that we have to do what I am about to do, and I trust that there will be others who will join in, but if no one else does, I want you to know that while I am censured, I'm not silenced. That this is only the genesis of this process. The revelations are yet to come. And in the revelations, I assure you, we will come to conclusions that will cause this president to be removed. We are now into the countdown for impeachment. This countdown will manifest itself in articles being brought to the floor of the House of Representatives next week.
I'm back.
I fully intend to do so. And for edification purposes, that means that I will first notify my colleagues by way of written word that these are my intentionalities. And thereafter, I will come to the House and I will read the articles of impeachment. After they have been read, some time will pass before they will come back to the floor for a second reading, 2 legislative days. At that time, the articles will be read again. I will call for a vote.
Tone asks, when and who will turn this around?
Vote on the articles of impeachment. Those who will vote for it will be known as persons who have supported what I believe to be the last effort that we have to prevent this president from becoming a full-blown dictator. He is right now a de facto dictator. He has the potential to becoming full-blown. What do I mean by de facto? Because we're in the nascency of his dictatorship. Yes, someone someday will write about the first 100 days of his dictatorship. So we're into the nascency of it. He is testing to see if there are people who have the courage to put him in check. And if he doesn't see that, then we'll go on to another stage of it. So I'm going to come to the floor, read these articles. Then they will be read again a second time. I will ask for the vote. There will probably be a motion to table. The motion to table means that if it prevails, the articles will not go forward and have the debate and proceed to the possibility of a vote on the actual articles. A motion to table. This is what has happened in the past. Those who vote for the motion to table will oppose the articles of impeachment. Those who vote against the motion of table will be sending a message to the world that they want this to proceed and that these articles ought to be given a fair hearing before this House of Representatives. That's what
I don't think this is going to go far at all, but like he was saying, it needs to be set in the history books that at least he tried. You know, it's about his legacy as well. Al Green is really good at getting into good trouble. I've seen him in handcuffs a couple times, at least once. So
that's what the motion to table will ultimately bring us to a decision that we will have to consider. It will be a moment of truth, an hour of decision, but I believe we have to do this. I believe we have to do it because if we're going to wait until there are tanks rolling into major cities at the capitals of cities, it'll be too late. If we're going to wait until you read and hear about it in some major newspaper that president has metamorphosed into a dictator, it will be too late. We have to stop him as soon as possible. As soon as possible is a means of doing it by way of impeachment. I believe that he will be impeached again, but I also know this. If we don't, and if he continues in the vein and the methodology that he has been proceeding with, if he does this, then there is one other last word, and that would be we the people. We the people, with our voices, with our movement, with our peaceful protest, we the people will make that change. This country will not tolerate a de facto dictator, and it surely will not tolerate and should not tolerate a full-blown dictator. De facto dictator because, in fact, he is a dictator, not announced, but that's what he is, ruling by executive order. This country was not designed by the framers of the Constitution to be ruled by executive order, such that the president would just ignore those orders, let things go all the way to the Supreme Court, knowing that he has lawyers with unlimited resources, and those who would challenge him are limited in resources. So his dictatorial character says to him, you can let that go on to the Supreme Court, and you can ignore the court. Flout the orders of the court. Don't have to worry about that. You've got the Treasury of the United States of America backing you. You've got an Attorney General who knows nothing but yes, no way to say to you, Mr. President, reconsider. Your Secretary of State is going to do a similar thing. No one around you is going to challenge you and say to you that this is not the appropriate thing to do. So yes.
Yeah, Trump voters are going to see this, but I think it's going to have the opposite effect this time around. Oh, they already tried this once, those libs. I don't think they're going to buy into it at all. Maybe the ones that have finally woken up or are getting their asses kicked financially will say, yeah, there might be something to this, but look how many Republicans are already in his pocket. Like, and then you've got goddamn Project 2025 creators behind him. What's the name of the group? God, I'm drawing a blank right now. Why am I? It's late. I'm tired. I know. The hell's the name of the group?
He has the characteristics of a de facto dictator with dictatorial behavior being exhibited. And as a result, the moment of truth is upon us. Next week, we shall have the opportunity to stand on the principles that I believe were exhibited when we were campaigning, when we were saying this president
Heritage Foundation
would harm our democracy. And he was a threat. This will be our opportunity. I pray that every person will vote your conscience. I'm not asking anybody to vote a certain way. I'm telling you how I will vote. I speak for no one but myself and those who agree with me. But I assure you that there will be at least one vote to impeach Donald John Trump, President of the United States. I yield back the balance of my time.
Well, I am sure there's going to be more than one vote, but it's not going to go far. And it should. Like, this is, I don't ever remember seeing a reason for an impeachment as much as I do in this. He has so many reasons to be impeached this time around. So many times he's violated the law. He's broken the rules. That his whole cabinet should be impeached at this point. Just about, in my mind, in my opinion. That's my opinion. That's my reaction to it. But holy shit. I'd like to see where this goes, because there is going to be a record of people who voted on this. So it is great to see. This was May 8th. He's been talking about this for some time, but now's the time. Now's the time to see where this turns out. Because people are pissed. You're seeing it everywhere. You're seeing MAGA turn away from MAGA. You're seeing Republicans turn away from the party. You're seeing Democrats. You're seeing independents all just, out there protesting. Here, you're seeing college kids walk out. Check this out. So college graduates walk out as MAGA Republican governor speaks.
Grand Nation, graduates, what a distinct privilege it is to join you this morning to honor and congratulate the class of 2024. I could not think of a better day to celebrate
Yeah. You see that one? Fuck you. I guess that's what happens when you get an education.
where we recognize the many others who are here graduating, and of course the many others in the audience who are weeping with pride. We all want to simply say thank you. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your families.
That's powerful.
Grand Nation.
Yeah, wow. Let's play it one more time. This is really good to see. This makes me feel hopeful.
The class of 2024. I could not think of a better day to celebrate
Yeah, those damn liberal woke colleges.
We all want to simply say,
How dare they get an education?
thank you for your love. Thank you for your families.
Pretty powerful shit right there. Gotta tell you, I really like that. Pretty powerful. Yeah, hey, we're going to talk a little bit about Stephen Miller before we get into the next one. We're going to go here and get a little history.
Am I the only one who is sick and tired of being told to pick up my trash? And we have plenty of janitors who are paid to do it for.
That's young Stephen Miller, and he's always been an asshole. He's Trump's Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy and Homeland Security Advisor. He's also known as Trump's brain. Leaked emails show he's a white nationalist, which isn't surprising given that he's behind immigration policies like family separation and the Muslim travel ban. His emails show that in 2015 and 16, he promoted white nationalist books, websites, and conspiracies to editors at Breitbart, a far-right news site. More than 80% of the 900-plus emails reviewed focused on race or immigration, referring to the debunked conspiracy theory that non-white people are deliberately wiping white people off the planet. He referred to President Calvin Coolidge in his emails multiple times, backing his eugenics-based immigration policies once praised by Hitler. He was upset when some retailers stopped selling Confederate flags and symbols after the Charleston church shooting by white supremacist Dylan Roof, and encouraged Breitbart to create a counter-narrative. He often recommended articles from white nationalist websites like American Renaissance and Be There to highlight interracial crime. He pushed for coverage of The Camp of the Saints, a French novel loved by white nationalists for its racist depiction of non-white immigrants. He loves pushing false racist narratives so much that in 2017, as Trump's senior advisor, he reportedly blocked the release of a government study showing that refugees had a positive fiscal impact. But that's not all. He's friends with Richard Spencer, the most notorious white nationalist in the US. Spencer was a central figure to the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville in 2017. This guy went to high school with Miller and had a lot to say.
Stephen Miller was never bullied in high school. Stephen Miller was the bully. He bullied the kids who are already marginalized by our society, and he continues to do that from the White House today.
Am I the only one?
Okay, well, that's kind of adding up. The guy that they, where was he?
Miller and figure to the Unite the Right nationalists in the U.S. Spencer.
That man right there. Let's focus on him for a second. Puts those Ray-Bans to shame. Let me see if I'm correct here. Let me see if I've learned something over the last few years here. Holy shit. It is him. Oh, dude. I did a video on him with Elon Musk. No way. Okay, let me see if I could actually find that. I must have saved that. This dude is a straight up Nazi. He is a straight up Nazi. Gosh, shame on me for not shame on me for not organizing it. I have organizational skills. I always have. Or lack of skills there. Speech. Yeah, this guy did like one of the most, it was straight. There's people giving the Zig Heil salute to him while he is speaking. And this is Miller's friend.
Groups. We don't gain
Yeah,
anything
well, this is pretty
from their
close to it.
presence.
This
They
is pretty
need
close.
us.
So this is
and
the man
not-
right here. This is Miller's friend, right?
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
This is in Washington, D.C. This is in 2016. Not in terms of perspective.
This is a unique burden for the white man, that our fate is entirely in our hands. To be white is to be a striver, a crusader, an explorer, and a conqueror. We build, we produce, we go upward. We don't exploit other groups. We don't gain anything from their presence. They need us and not the other way around.
Yeah. So this is our government. His speech goes hand in hand with Trump's speech, with like the same writer. Like you're talking Miller is the voice. Picture Trump's voice right here, Miller standing right next to this man, because they speak the same language.
Many of us thought all along that he could win. The mainstream media, or perhaps we should refer to them in the original German, Lügenpresse. One wonders if these people are people at all, or instead soulless golem, animated by some dark power to repeat whatever talking point John Oliver stated the night before. They represent something truly important, the victory of will. We willed Donald Trump into office. This is only one more thing to do, and I guess we should just all go get drunk, right?
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. I didn't realize the connection was like that, but that is the connection. That is the connection to the White House.
Flames licked the columns of the Reich.
So yeah, that's Spencer right there. That was the man talking.
White immigrants. He loves pushing false racist narratives so much that in 2017, as Trump's senior advisor, he reportedly blocked the release of a government study showing that refugees had a positive fiscal impact. But that's not all. He's friends with Richard Spencer, the most notorious white nationalist in the US. Spencer was a central figure to the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville in 2017.
Yep, so there's the connection to that, guys. I did a whole video on this. I wonder if I should just bring it up just to show you quickly. I did a video on this. I did. Neil Long Musk. It was Neil Long Musk. No, apparently I'm not cool enough to populate on it. Where's my videos? How do you navigate? I don't think I've navigated my own. So yeah, I did a whole video on this douchebag. After Elon Musk threw the Nazi salute. That's not it. Did I not group it? Am I that dumb? Videos. Oh, right here.
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
Put it to you very simply and gently, I really haven't been treated right, but you haven't been treated right because you're putting yourself in great danger.
No one will honor us for losing gracefully. No one mourns the great crimes committed against us. For us, it is conquer or die. The mainstream media.
Yep. So there it is. There's the tie. It's fucking unreal. Guys, this is unreal. This is real, but this is unreal. The ties are there, guys. So here he is speaking on a press conference. I believe it was today.
Well, the Constitution is clear, and that, of course, is the supreme law of the land.
Now, this is Miller. This is Spencer's friend. This is not Spencer, the guy that was at the rally. This is his friend.
The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in a time of invasion. So I would say that's an option we're actively looking at. Look, a lot of it depends on whether the courts do the right thing or not. At the end of the day, Congress passed a body of law known as the Immigration and Nationality Act, which stripped Article 3 courts, that's the judicial branch, of jurisdiction over immigration cases. So Congress actually passed, it's called jurisdiction stripping legislation.
It passed a number of laws that say that the Article 3 courts aren't even allowed to be involved in immigration cases.
So yeah, this is the White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller. And they're looking to say, okay, it's an invasion. Guess what? This has only been enacted like 4 times in our history, and I believe twice it was during World War I and then World War II. World War II, I believe it was with the Japanese of the concentration camps. I have to research that a little more.
Many of you probably don't know this. I'll give you a good example. Are you familiar with the term temporary protected status, or TPS, right? So by statute, the courts are stripped of jurisdiction from overruling a presidential determination or a secretarial determination on TPS when the Secretary of Homeland Security makes that determination. So when Secretary Noem terminated TPS for the illegals that Biden flew into the country, when courts stepped in, they were violating explicit language that Congress had enacted, saying they have no jurisdiction. So it's not just the courts aren't just at war with the executive branch. The courts are at war, these radical rogue judges, with the legislative branch as well, too. So all of that will inform the choices the president ultimately makes. Well, the Constitution is clear, and that, of course, is the...
Okay, so the writ of habeas corpus has been initiated throughout U.S. history, with its use and suspension varying depending on the context. Here's more detailed look. 1789, the writ of habeas corpus was first established by the statute in the Judiciary Act of 1789, applying to those in federal custody. 1862 to 63, President Lincoln suspended the writ of habeas corpus during the Civil War, and Congress later authorized its suspension for the duration of the war. Reconstruction, the writ was also suspended in South Carolina counties during Reconstruction due to the Klan violence. 1905, habeas corpus was suspended in 2 Philippine provinces during an insurrection. 1941, the writ was suspended in Hawaii after Pearl Harbor attack. So I was right about that part. Guantanamo Bay, the writ has been used in U.S. courts to review detentions at Guantanamo Bay, with Supreme Court ruling in 2008 that detainees have the right to habeas corpus. So it has gone back and forth. It's been used for political maneuvering. It's been used for fear. It's been used to protect, depending whether or not suspended or invoked. So we are in for some wild times if they do what they're talking about doing. It's going to get wild. This shit it's almost unbelievable. It's almost unbelievable. But it's happening. It's happening. I think I got one more on him somewhere.
We have some serious breaking news right now. The Department of Homeland Security has confirmed to Axios that it may arrest Democratic members of Congress next. This comes one day after ICE officials arrested Newark, New Jersey Mayor Ras Baraka for protesting at an ICE detention facility in Newark. There were also several members of Congress. There are several Democratic members of Congress. And now a spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security is confirming that DHS is considering possibly arresting them as well. In an interview today with CNN, Tricia McLaughlin, the spokesperson, said that more arrests will likely be coming.
Habeas corpus and due process date back to the Magna Carta. Yeah, that's actually the clip I'm looking for.
Arresting the lawmakers is definitely on the table. She alleges that the members of Congress body slammed a female ICE officer, but the members of Congress say that's completely untrue. They arrested Newark, New Jersey mayor. They may arrest members of Congress. They're threatening to arrest me, a journalist. Spread the word. I'll do a full breakdown on my Substack, so subscribe to support my work at the link in my bio and follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. It's getting serious, folks. More to come.
Well, I mean, at least I got one good thing to look forward to. If I keep this shit up, I'm going to at least get to meet all my favorite influencers. You got to stay positive, right? Whew. Yeah, well, not that one. What's this one? We'll go into here.
Caroline Leavitt is the White House press secretary. She is increasingly panicked and desperate because of what we're seeing in the polls, because of what we're seeing in the economy. And she went on Fox News last night and delivered one of the most desperate sales pitches that we've seen. And it was rough. It's sort of like desperate to sell a product everybody knows doesn't work. Leavitt made the claim that the trade deals are all moving along in a positive and
Wait, MTG not running next year for state? Ooh, I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
productive direction. Everything's great. And now things are going to be extra good because Trump is putting new tariffs on the film industry. We talked about this on yesterday's bonus show. It makes no sense whatsoever. Intuitively, it makes no sense. Here's what she had to say to try to defend yet another disastrous
Guys, if you could
idea.
hit the like, share it out.
Trade deals are continuing to
That'd
move
be great.
along in a positive
If you
and
haven't subbed,
productive
please sub.
direction.
Hit the
The Secretary
notification.
of Treasury, Secretary of Commerce, the President himself continue to be engaged on this every single day, keeping in mind the American worker and reshoring jobs here at home. You had a new announcement from the President yesterday, tariffs on the film industry. We're going to make Hollywood great again, and it's just one of the many great proposals the president has had to make our country boom again and to bring jobs back here at home.
So let's break this down. Trump wants to slap tariffs on Hollywood, on movies, as if punishing the film industry is going to revive the economy. You know, the other tariff ideas were bad enough, but this is acutely ridiculous, as if the issue with American manufacturing is Pixar movies are too inexpensive to produce, or it's completely incoherent. And the takeaway is that this is really unserious policy. Most anyone can tell you that you don't grow an economy by putting an import tax on film production. It's just, you know, you can make a case for tariffing semiconductors from other countries to onshore them. You can make the case on steel. You could make the case on certain raw materials or even on some finished products. But the film industry, it just doesn't even plausibly make sense. What you need to do is invest in infrastructure and invest in labor and innovation. You don't pick fights with Hollywood. It just doesn't make any sense.
No,
Caroline
that's
Lev-
what his fan base wants, right? Because Hollywood's woke. So that's what he's going to do, rally up his fan base with it. And they'll support every second of it. So MTG, is she really talking about not running again? Probably because she made all that money off of insider trading, in my opinion. Let's take a peek at what she's doing.
Here displayed behind me is the post that Mr. Lefelt put up. Mr. Lefelt came in here today saying that this is game day.
One moment, a point of order, please,
You're
Madam
not.
Chair.
You're not.
Madam
okay,
Chair, I have a point of order. The document that you have up behind you is a misrepresentation of the actual post. It appears that you're trying to misrepresent a witness here who you use subpoena powers against.
This is not Miss Stan's.
So she put a picture of him with one finger like he was flipping off like it's game day. And then she puts the actual picture of him holding two fingers up.
Sorry, Miss Stansbury, this is not a point of order.
The actual picture.
Miss Stansbury, you're not
put
recognized.
and put
Miss
on the
Stansbury,
board
you're not
behind
recognized.
me.
Miss Stansbury, you are not recognized. This is not a point of order. Miss Stansbury, this is not a point of order.
Misrepresenting what this committee does. You are misrepresenting the
Stansbury.
witnesses. You are misrepresenting policy. You are misrepresenting.
Miss Stansbury, you're not recognized. Did you feel you were in a safe environment, free from abuse when you were told you must compete
That's
against
fucking
a man?
great.
Here displayed behind me.
Oh my god, I should have ended the night on that one. Maybe we'll come back to that one. That's really good. Okay. Now that I've jumped around everywhere, let's go into another small business getting shut down, huh?
My name is TJ Samanchin, and we import coffee from farmers from around the world. And right now, I'm facing that all the coffee that we import is going to get hit with a tariff. I think the thing I want to underscore, there's been a lot of words shared, a lot of personal stories shared, but that we here are...
KK says, MTG said she isn't running again because she was too embarrassed by a certain streamer's opening video. I'm dead.
Small businesses, we are on the front line of these tariffs. We are the ones who are paying it. I had to go to my bank and ask for an additional line of credit just to finance the tariff tax. We are the ones who need to come up with the money, and if we can't come up with the money, and like in Beth's case, our product is at risk. So everything that we buy is now at least 10% more, And I don't know, we have countries that we buy from that are on the reciprocal tariff list. And so I don't even know what the cost of some of my product is going to be that's going to be shipping to me pretty soon. And so I got into coffee because of relationships with farmers I have in Latin America and Africa, that our supply chains are very personal to us. There are real people on the other end of this supply chain. These are relationships I've developed over 2 decades in the coffee industry. These are complex supply chains, and we are at risk of disrupting that. And these are things we can't just change overnight. I think anyone who knows about business, about importing, international trade, any of that would know this, that these are the simple rules of business, that they are depending on relationships that take months and years to develop. And we are at risk of losing those relationships. So I also want to just share with my colleagues up here and asking for support for small businesses. My name is TJ Samanchin.
So basically, we got about 30 minutes to finish this stream because I cannot do it baked. But that is a delicious gummy I just ate. I'm not like Mercado. I will shut the fuck down because I'll be like, I gotta go, guys. You don't want to see me like that. All right, we're going next. Another small business gone. What Trump doing?
Breaking news. Donald Trump is accepting a $400 million airplane from the Qatar government to use as Air Force One and personally when he's done with his presidency. So much for America first. This is a huge security risk for the country. It also is blatant corruption to have a foreign government pay off an American president. Every patriot, Republican, Democrat, Independent should oppose this awful deal. Breaking news. Donald Trump.
Yeah, so he's getting a $400 million. They're calling it a floating palace. I believe it was the exact verbiage. Floating palace. I believe that's what it's called. A flying palace. Qatar is giving, I guess they're spinning it that it's going to the government and it will remain there after the presidency. But that's a huge security risk. That airplane is bugged. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could be. Like, that's a huge security risk. And, of course, why would... Okay, yeah. You guys know. That's a quid pro quo. That is this for that. That is 100% quid pro quo. It should not be allowed. Absolutely not. Shit, I know people to get fired for having someone buy them lunch while they're on duty. Let alone that. That's fucking wild.
Tonight, the Trump administration saying it's weighing the dramatic and unprecedented step of suspending habeas corpus, the long-standing right of an individual to challenge their detention in court.
All right, so here's more on the habeas corpus from ABC 7 Chicago.
To hasten sweeping deportations of undocumented immigrants.
That's an option we're actively looking at.
The Constitution states habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion, the public safety may require it. It's only happened 4 times in American history.
So the concerning part is when it says rebellion, would that be like a secession of state? Or would that be like a riot or a protest where someone steps off the curb? How is that defined?
But the White House claiming the United States is facing a national security threat from undocumented immigrants, and now considering the extraordinary move after a series of federal judges halted the deportations of some migrants, saying they should be given the chance to legally challenge their removals. President Trump posting this week, "Our court system is not letting me do the job I was elected to do." Meantime, a tense scene at a federal immigration detention center in New Jersey. The mayor of Newark and Democratic candidate for governor Ras Baraka arrested and detained for several hours, accused of trespassing after he tried to tour the facility with 3 Democratic members of Congress.
If I was on their property, I was invited there. Somebody allowed me to go in there. I didn't climb a fence. I didn't kick the door down.
The U.S. attorney for New Jersey and President Trump's former lawyer, Alina Habba, saying the mayor was trespassing and ignored multiple warnings from federal agents to remove himself. And outside Boston, Tufts University doctoral student Ramesa Ozturk seen apprehended by plainclothes ICE officers a year after she co-wrote a pro-Palestinian op-ed in the student paper, now released on bail.
Yeah, she just got released now on bail, so yeah.
Bail. Released from a Louisiana facility this weekend after being detained since March.
Thank you so much for all the support and love. I am a little bit tired, so I will take some rest.
The administration accusing the Turkish national of being involved in groups that may undermine U.S. foreign policy. Tonight, the Trump administration.
So yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear. She has to get on some interviews. God, wouldn't that be cool to get her on an interview? But she's viral. God, I'd love to be able to talk to her, get her opinion on the whole matter. That would be amazing. I will reach out, but I'm probably get ignored. But I'm gonna try. You never know, right? You never know. We saw that. Oh yeah, check this shit out.
In FEMA.
This is the new FEMA director. Acting FEMA Administrator David Richardson issued a striking warning during his first all-hands meeting with agency staff. Don't get in my way or I'll run you over. Check it out.
Not in DHS or the U.S. government writ large, but within FEMA. I and I alone speak for FEMA, okay? I am the president's representative at FEMA. And I am here to carry out President Trump's intent. That's why I'm here. Now, this is the tough part. Most of you know this by intuition, but nobody's ever told you this. When somebody comes to an organization and there's going to be change, it's recognized that everybody's somewhat nervous or somewhat concerned. Understandable. What's not known is that between 10 and 20% of personnel will embrace change. They'll welcome it. And they understand that change, handled right, is progress. And they understand that it's necessary and they see that it needs to be made. That's somewhere between 10 and 20%. Something like 60%, they don't care. Right? They go along to get along. And I completely understand that. I've been in a situation before where I went along to get along. However, there's somewhere south of 20% that decide that they are going to get in the way of change. You can ask anybody that those 20% of the people are a problem. And they have to be sidelined. So don't get in my way if you're those 20% of the people. I know all the tricks, okay? I know them from lance corporals. I know them from staff sergeants, lieutenants, federal employees, my own employees, and indeed myself. Okay, I played the games too. Obfuscation, delay, undermining. If you're one of those 20% of the people, and you think those tactics and techniques are going to help you, they will not, because I will run right over you. I will achieve the president's intent. In FEMA.
That is some wild verbiage there. That guy thinks his shit does not stink. Who the fuck does he think he is? I am the voice of FEMA. Oh my God. Someone needs to teach him a lesson. He needs to get sued. He needs to lose his position. This is, God, the arrogance behind this man. Acting FEMA Administrator David Richardson. Remember that fucktard. He needs to be held accountable for that speech. That was nasty. Somehow, he needs to lose his position, but he needs to learn a lesson that way. For sure.
It was nearly impossible to get anyone on camera for this story because of the fear now running through our system of justice. In recent weeks, President Trump has signed orders against several law firms, orders with the power to destroy them. That matters because lawsuits have been a check on the president's power. Many firms and attorneys have been targeted, among them Mark Elias, a longtime opponent of Trump, who is the only lawyer the president has named who was willing to appear on 60 Minutes. Elias and others are warning that Trump's assault on the legal profession threatens the rule of law itself. Elias says that for him, it began with the president's personal grudge.
Donald Trump hates me because I fight hard and I fight for free and fair elections. I insist on fighting for democracy in court, fighting for voting rights in court, and insist on telling the truth about what the outcome of the 2020 election was.
Are there risks in doing the work that you're doing?
I'd be an idiot not to be worried. The question, though, is what do you do? Right? Do you just cower in the corner? Do you just try to disappear? Do you just leave democracy to fend for itself? Or do you stand tall and do the best you can every day to represent your clients and try to preserve the rule of law?
So, yeah, I mean, Trump just got, what, $1 billion in pro bono fees from lawyers from around different firms that he was going to bankrupt with an executive order. And, oh, man, right there. That's an intimidation tactic. It's absolutely, it should be investigated big time. Speaking of investigations, let's talk a little more about Kash Patel.
I spoke to more than 15 current and former FBI and Justice Department officials for this story, and they all expressed concern that Kash Patel is just not taking the job of FBI director as seriously as he should be. I was told, for example, that his 8:30 a.m. intelligence briefing was reduced from 5 days a week to 2 because he had trouble showing up on time. And when he does attend, I'm told his briefers are finding it hard to hold his attention. Meanwhile, he's been traveling around the country on FBI jets to Las Vegas, where he has a home, and to Nashville, where his country singer girlfriend lives. And he's also been spotted at pro hockey games and UFC fights. Now, his spokesman pushed back on all of this, saying he's working hard and attending morning meetings. Meanwhile, Patel did have an embarrassing walkback this week on the FBI budget, first saying he opposed a White House proposal for a 5% cut, but the next day saying he supports it. So one day he was saying the cuts would hurt the FBI's mission, and the next day he said they were fine. My FBI sources are saying this is not the kind of leadership that inspires.
Yeah, not very inspiring at all. Not at all.
And this new Kash Patel character, talking about somebody that's on it. Watch this.
99% of the critical infrastructure in the United States is controlled by private companies. So that really drives us to talk about how do we partner with industry and with the commercial sector, in this case.
No, I'm not. Nope.
Volt Typhoon began when industry came to the intelligence community and said, we're seeing anomalous activity. Can you help us gain context? And we were able to bring context to that, to be able to understand what the threat was, and then to ultimately be able to identify
what the fuck is he doing?
Who was behind that threat. Since that time, we've continued to work very closely.
Vic enhanced this a little bit, but I mean, like, there's enough pen play that I started freaking out and clipping it and being like, what's this guy on? But it doesn't stop there.
Our partners and industry to be able to pursue them. That's the approach we have to take.
Fucking nervous, me sweating bullets.
Eyes darting around and industry to be able to eradicate these threats.
My mouth is so dry right now. Watch his tie work. What is he, Rodney Dangerfield?
Let me tuck this in again. Okay. Just tighten that up.
Thank you.
What have you done on the offensive
This is not normal.
side here?
I shouldn't be here. I should not be here. Nope. Suicide note, maybe? No. Thinking about a suicide note.
Suicide note. Do I write the note now, or
how did I get here? I didn't mean for this to happen. Fuck.
It might be a signal to like Russians or something like.
Oh, interesting, like a baseball third coach.
Yeah. Thank you all again for being here. So as you're all keenly aware, Section 702 of FISA.
Oh, he's doing the thing with his lips where his gums. Oh my God. And this new.
Oh, FBI Director Kash Patel. Cash it in. Cash it in. All right, we already saw Steven. We already saw that. Did we already see? Yeah, we already saw that. We already saw that. We already saw that. We just saw that. I thought I had one more Cash. I had one more Cash. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Hey, did you guys know there's like an underground city in Las Vegas? This is kind of skibbity, but we'll go here.
How long have you been in this tunnel?
In these tunnels, about 5 years, since COVID. They had one homeless shelter that was overran, and I just followed the tracks and ended up down here.
That place, a network of tunnels stretching hundreds of miles, originally meant to divert rainwater, and now home to an entire underground population, all living just a few feet under the bright lights of the Las Vegas Strip.
How many people do you estimate are living here right now?
Approximately 12 to 1,500.
So we are 3 feet
Caesar's Palace.
beneath Caesar's Palace on the Las Vegas Strip.
You said it yourself. You've been here many times. You would never even know it was here.
Rob was addicted to a number of substances and says he's now been clean for nearly 7 years. This is a world he once knew firsthand.
I was underground for about 2.5 years. I had found somewhere that I could go and be left alone and not bothered and not have to worry about the direct sun or the wind or the randomness, right? And there was a lot of chaos in my tunnel too, but it was like the devil I knew.
Nationwide, the latest data shows more than 771,000 people experienced some kind of homelessness in 2024. The Trump administration has attempted to freeze some of the $5 billion allocated in 2021 for homelessness assistance. NBC News reached out to the White House for comment, but did not receive a response by deadline. Rob worries recent cuts in federal funding will jeopardize services for people like Jay, who said
Las Vegas is huge, too. I wonder how long this goes on for. I know it takes like 30 minutes just to drive through on like a straight highway. It might even take longer than that. It's a huge city.
Says he's lived in the tunnels for 13 years.
Why did you choose to live down here instead of live on the surface?
It doesn't matter where you go, you can't be there. I just try to stay out of sight, out of mind. So this is more out of sight and out of mind than up top.
Aaron, can you turn off that light so people can really feel just how dark and still it is down here? I mean, that is powerful. That's meaningful.
Yeah.
The choice or the circumstance that would bring you to this level of darkness, of desperation, of solitude.
We've made them feel so not a part of that they retreat underground because it's that guilt and shame, like just walking around.
Wow, that's wild, guys. That's so wild. We're going to skip the port talk today. I don't want to talk about ports. We'll go to Stansbury a little more.
Do you remember last summer during the height of the election, the now president did a debate with Vice President Harris, and he totally disavowed Project 2025. And do you remember in this very hearing room, we were in this hearing room, and we tried to enter Project 2025 into the record, and multiple members of the committee objected to putting a document that was online at the time into the record because they, at the time, were trying to claim, oh, Donald Trump has nothing to do with this. We have nothing to do with this. This is not what our policy plans are. And now, here we are, and literally the bill in front of us is Project 2025. And the thing that I find particularly wild about all of it is, like, the authors of Project 2025 are now in the administration. The director of OMB, the director of SCC, like, the dudes who wrote the document that you guys objected to putting in the record, except for now you're trying to pass a bill to do it, literally are there, and now you're executing and abdicating your constitutional authority by trying to pass a bill that does that bidding. So, Ranking Member, I really, really appreciate what you're doing here. And, you know, the other thing that I appreciate about your description of your amendment is the ways in which Project 2025, if you haven't read the chapters on Department of Interior, EPA, Forest Service, highly, highly, highly recommend everyone out there who's watching this do that, because not only is it nefarious in its sort of broader implications for opening public lands to the lowest bidder, this isn't even highest bidder, it's to the lowest bidder, it actually proposes opening lands that have been protected for generations. And amongst...
We already saw some of this happening in Utah, right? Utah, Nevada. They were talking about there was a legislation getting passed to get rid of some of the public land there.
The lands that are included...
We covered that yesterday.
Are the boundary waters included in this bill today? And I just keep going back to the idea that, you know, the GOP keeps trying to claim that this reconciliation bill is just about the budget. It's just about balancing the budget. Well, then what the hell does opening the boundary waters to international mining have to do with the budget? It doesn't have anything to do with the budget, my friends. This is Project 2025. Mr. Ranking Member, I'm happy to yield more time to you if you want to talk more about it, but I just think it's extraordinary.
It is, but you know, they did assure us that it wasn't their agenda. Donald Trump promised that he knew nothing about it, wasn't his agenda. So I would think Republicans would be quick to support an amendment that just holds them to their word, right?
Yeah, they didn't even want it in the record when we tried to put it in the record, but now their bill, maybe Mr. Chairman, would you like to disavow Project 2025?
Chairman?
Doesn't look like it. Okay. Do you remember?
That looks like a special committee. I'm learning that. I'm learning there's special committees. I can tell by the office size. So, we're gonna cover that. I'm not gonna cover that. I think we're gonna leave off with something funny. Now that we've gone through all the political madness, let's go with something funny. We'll cover the deportations, all that later. We'll cover other later. How about funny? I got a good one for you guys. Since we were talking, what's trending right now? Is it hashtag Diaper Dawn because he shits himself? In honor of Diaper Dawn. Where is it? Oh yeah, right here. All right, we're leaving with this.
Take a shit every day. At least once a day. Take a mighty shit, preferably in the morning. Taking a shit is good for your mind, body, and soul. When you don't take a shit, you carry with you all of the bad energy. Too many people walk around every day with a shitty attitude because they don't take a mighty shit. Don't take any important decision in your life without first taking a shit. If you want to break up with your partner or buy a house, first take a shit and
I fucking love this guy.
Then decide after if it is still the right thing to do. Drink the water, eat the fiber, and take a mighty shit. And don't forget to wash your ass after. That is all.
Words of wisdom, guys. Don't forget to wash your ass after you take a shit. All right, guys, that's it for today. Once again, a reminder, real quick. In the chat pinned is Paging Kansas's fundraiser link. We will be having an interview with Paige on Tuesday, day after tomorrow, at 8 p.m. Pacific time on my channel. We will be discussing her fundraising. We will be discussing other things as well, like what her connections were to Ukraine and who she's helping, and have just a friendly little chat with her. But here's her fella. Here's one of the generators she got behind the scenes while we were doing the Easter Pasonki fundraiser. She was taking care of the 14th Mechanized. So yeah, more to come with that. Thank you guys for being here today. Please hit the like, share it out. Getting up there in the subs, over 900 subs now, guys. Getting really close to 1,000. So my goal was 1,000 by April. I didn't make it. It's fine. But if you could, help me get some more subs. I'd love to get, at some point, get monetized. It would be great. I don't anticipate ever being able to do this full time, but I would like to eventually. That way I could keep doing fundraising, do news broadcasts and whatnot, and help my channel grow and, see where it goes from there. All right, guys. Until the next one, I will talk to you later. Peace out.
Motherfucker, nafo, fella, drama.
You called Green Moscow Marjorie. The nickname seems to have really taken off.
Moga, nafo, fella, drama. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Moga, nafo, fella, drama. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. I put that on my party, I put that on my family. 14th District, Georgia Swamp, address me as your MTG. Yeah, you can kiss my ass, but you can never touch my town. I deport all the immigrants so they don't turn my babies brown. MAGA is my party. I'm like a horse head Barbie. Divorce one, he's not hung, but the gym guy is naughty. Hardy magic girl in the Senate, radical. See me at your college campus, baggy full of Adderalls. Call me if you need a lie, call me if you need no truth. See them other Republicans, they don't ever leave the booth. I'm a conspiracy loser, I got no solid takes, but Jewish space lasers be burning up your Golden Gate Bridge. My IQ is less than your fridge and the freezer, and we stunning like Mugamo, the Golden Gate Bridge. My IQ is less than your fridge and the freezer. Muga muga nafo fella drama. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Muga muga nafo fella drama. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Muga muga nafo fella drama. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Muga muga nafo fella drama. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Call myself a winner, and if I met Jesus, I would poison him at dinner. I'm the editor, on nafo fella drama. Them basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. I'm looking like Madonna, but I'm flossing like Ivana Trump. You know I keep that twerk in my trunk, got my hand on Daddy Trump, so I can feel his lump. I'm yelling muga nasty, till my throat is raspy. Old, rich and trashy, I be where the cash be. You can't find that. Think you need a Google map? My Putin handler will poison all your kitty cats. Now Google that, dummies follow me on Twitter. I claim to read the Bible, but I be lying out my shitter. You're a lame ass sinner, I call myself a winner. And if I met Jesus, I would poison him at dinner. I'm the editor, director, plus I'm my own boss. Shitting on Ukraine with no shame, just to see the loss. Which means the dog getting over me. Russian propaganda be pumping out my ovaries. And we starting like Muga nafo fella drama. And basic bitches wear that shit, so I don't even bother. Looking like Madonna, but I'm flossing like Ivana Trump. You know I keep that twerk in my trunk, got my hand on Daddy Trump, so I can feel his lump.
Hog tour, got you spitting on my bits. And April fellas always repping with bong hits. We wipe you out like toilet paper does the shits. Serve you up like cheesy eggs, bacon and some grits. We are in your walls and we better than your cause. My Shiba Inu hungry, gonna bite you with his jaws. Designer keyboard ready for a pause. We posting memes original with no flaws. We phone controls online for the cause. We never slow down, sleep or take a pause. We rolling deep in the fetty, that's our cause. We fundraising money, phone controls and breaking the laws. And we crazy smooth brain, don't ignite us. Bump until all my phalanges get rheumatoid arthritis. And that's why nobody ever wanna fight us. Needful fellas never stop like a trainer virus. And we barking, biting, bonking, biting, wagging tails when we hit the night and sparking, lighting, igniting like a bomb. No views though, naval fellas be better than all your bots know. And we got no leader, I am the boss. 10,000 deep when we creep, ain't no time to floss like an owl. We don't sleep, we about that box, telegram to the X, we about the cause. And our moves are so fluid like we made of water, blowing warships up, you ran out of solder. You might think you're hot, but my game is harder. Take a chick to the tunnel like up to a Goddard. Till the end we will rep, that's all we gotta do. Tearing up the set with Nate Fobong his crew. We bustin' rhymes in the beats like all the fellas do. Better check yourself before my doggies do. Got you spitting on my bits. The NAFO fellas always repping with bong hits. We wipe you out like toilet paper does the shits. Serve you up like cheesy eggs, bacon and some grits. We are in your walls and we better than your cause. My Shiba Inu hungry, gonna bite you with his jaws.